stay informed, like know what's going on, but I don't have to, watch 800 videos on TikTok about sad cats all the time, and that's just sad cats.
Recently, there's been a lot of talk about how do you manage your emotions in the times that we're in, because it feels very different than what it felt like in this picture, for sure. What are some of the things that you encounter when you're talking to people, or even on your own, about things, the ideas of the world that we live in, and how do you manage that?
It's hard, and I think just being in touch with your emotions and letting yourself like name them and not push them down first is such a huge piece, because especially working in self-help or meditation, mindfulness, people think, oh, you have to be happy all the time. You only have to think happy thoughts and push down, anything that's not considered good. And I think that's where we get into a lot of trouble, because if we push them down, then they come out sideways and it's, a mess. So being in touch with them, but just understanding that these are normal emotions to have and normal reactions to certain situations. And also as a tool, I really like to journal when I feel really frustrated and overwhelmed, to just let the thoughts out and not try and censor myself and be like, this sucks, whatever might be going on. But certainly it's intense, and I think just being truthful about it. I think talking to people, having people that you can share with and not feel judged or misunderstood is also super helpful. But it's one day at a time, not to be cliche and cheesy, you just enjoy the ride and try and hold on.
I mean, you live in the US and we live here, and we don't even get the amount of emotions that you guys deal with. So for people,
I'm very happy to come up here.
Right.
I gotta say, it's always,
you're always welcome.
Happy to have you.
But how can people, you talked about journaling, but what are some things you can do to make sure you don't let it weigh on you? And I think that's the other thing. People feel like everyone else's problem is your problem, and
that's a good point,
right?
Yeah.
How do you let that go?
I think the doom scrolling is so big, and just we have so much access to so much information. I can know what someone on the other side of the world is having for breakfast, which is kind of cool, but then also I can know about the suffering or the difficult parts as well. And I think that does take its toll, because I don't know, as human beings we were ever meant to know so much about so many people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And so what's been really helpful for me is just just set some boundaries with stay informed, know what's going on, but I don't have to, watch 800 videos on TikTok about sad cats all the time, and that's just sad cats. So having boundaries with it, for sure, not letting myself and being in touch with my emotions. If I know that I'm in a super emotional state, I'll be okay, maybe I don't need to do that today. And again, talking to my mom, talking to friends is just a great, and also not to sound cliche, but exercise, moving my body to get out some of those emotions and not feeling so in a hole when things feel really, really depressing. It's just you have to find ways to exercise, pun intended, the emotions, and just not let it fester and live inside of you.
That's such a key one. At least for me, I have to get up.
Yeah.
I have to move.
Yeah.
Otherwise I don't feel like a person, really. Yeah.
Well, it's you think you can be on your phone and on TikTok or any social media, and it's an hour's gone by, and think of all of the information that you've taken in, and other people's opinions and energy, and just it's a lot. Even if it's not heavy stuff, it's still impacting our mental well-being.
It's interesting. I was listening to a podcast, and it was about how kids have a phone and they're always on their phone, and that they the idea of going out and experiencing what we experience, but this is their norm, and they were trying to explain that, how do you adjust that norm, because this is all they know, and this is normal for them.
It's wild.
So that was an interesting way of looking at it, because I'm oh, you should get off the phone, but this is their
it's what
world.
They know. I know. I think about being a kid and boredom, and we had opportunities to be bored, and just we had to figure out ways to entertain ourselves. And I don't have kids, so I can't speak from that experience. But kids these days have so much at their fingertips to entertain them. It's how would they fill that gap of the creativity of how do I entertain myself? It's interesting.
It's very interesting. They have a different mindset, that's for sure.
Yeah, and they're tiny geniuses with technology. And I feel like a boomer.
Well, there's a balance. There are things about the access they have, which is phenomenal for them, but the other side of it can be heavy. It can be dark.
Yeah. The access, the information, they just know so much so young. It's they're little adults running around.